G'day, welcome to Oxygen Not Included session 39. 39, as we continue on to try and solve this mess. Okay, so thank you for the comments on the previous video, and straight off the bat, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and pronounce that name I murdered last time. Cielu Swang. How close did I get? Let me know as point one. Alright, so thank you as well to those suggesting on the way to fix what's going on down here. And I get it. I get what the suggestion is here. So basically, the electrolyzer is running at maximum pressure, and I had both Barack and GLU Swang, hopefully, both pointed out that what happens is the electrolyzer pumps out 1,000 G over S grams a second, I suppose, grams a second, while the pump can only pump 500 grams per second. So initially, straight away, problem is going to be that the gas pump can only pump out 50% of what the electrolyzer is doing. So immediately I'm now 50% building pressure. So I have to have two running to alleviate that pressure. Problem number two, the amount of hydrogen being made won't be catered to by the amount the hydrogen generator needs. So I do need two hydrogen generators. And one person did point out that I don't. I don't think both did. Maybe just one did, or maybe both did. Suggested that I actually don't want it running on automation because I don't want it stopping, because I need it to continue to take as much hydrogen as it can get. I appreciate that as well as the logic. So another thing pointed out as well is that the hydrogen now no longer needs to be cooled because it's not going to the glossy Drecos. It's not going to these guys in here. So rebuild. How are we doing this? What we need is we need two different hydrogen generators operating off this guy. We need two pumps operating off him as well. And we don't need the Weezwort operating in the hydrogen portion of this. We only need them operating in the oxygen portion. So do we try and just get the oxygen to be pumped into the lowest part of the colony, say here, where it can sort of go out and spread, or as one person suggested, that we actually build several vents to allow it to pump to two different places. I mean, obviously, if we're going to have two different pumps, we can have two different locations that is going to. Okay. So. I think step one is to deconstruct this room and rebuild it. I don't think it needs to be as big anymore. And I think what I could do is use the top half of the room for my second generator setup in here. So. Now, do I still have the guys at the top connected to the coal, or did I disconnect the coal? I don't recall. They are still running. Cool. So if I disconnect this down the bottom, it doesn't matter at the moment, because that guy, there is that second setup. Okay. So, step... It does feel like a dangerous game too, by the way, that the electrolyzer is running off the hydrogen generator. So if it stops pumping to the hydrogen generator stops pumping, and we run out of oxygen. Problematic. Okay. Okay. Deconstruct. Uproot. 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 Deconstruct. Deconstruct. Now, he was made with gold as well. So when we move him, where, as one person suggested, it was Barack, that we centralize him. So we go, that was ventilation, I think, where he lived. No, where did you live? Oxygen. electrolyzer. Sit him central to this room. Now, how high we want the roof in here, I suppose, is a question too, because we don't want to leave, say, just a hydrogen cloud at the top. Do we build straight up? Do we build 2 pumps above it so that they sort of... Where have I put him? What have I done? 2 on that side. Actually, I didn't choose what I was using him, building him with as well, I don't think. Let's just do this again. Oxygen. Electrolyzer. Gold. Guess I didn't already. I want him there. And I want ventilation. We want a gas pump. Do we want to go up one? Say... I don't know. I don't think there's any point to... It's certainly interesting that they can float. And does the overheat temperature of these guys matter much? Unless anyone says otherwise, let's just leave them like that. Okay. So, deconstruct that. Let's sweep everything going on here. Let's knock out the remainder of these. There's something else I was working on at the moment. See that water's still filling in there nicely. There's still a fair bit to go. We've freed this guy, so let's wrangle him. See, someone suggested Incubators a video or 2 ago that I'm running out of guys in here, so possibly I need a like an egg incubator or something in there. We need some more medical things around too. I don't know how many, if I've got any sort of medical treatment at the moment. Okay. So we still keep this insulated because it is to do with the electrolyzer and sort of pumping hard. It's liquid intake too. We have a look at the plumbing underneath him. See that now that just needs to go there. And we can say deconstruct and we can get rid of those liquid pipes there. We also will need power. And we can... 1, 2, 3. We will then copy that. And I think that what we want to do is lower the ceiling in this room. And I'm going to make this a weird little tiny room. So that the pumping is basically going to sustain what's going on, I guess. Could be wrong. But let's try it. Am I still paused? Yeah. Okay. Go on, mechanized airlock. We'll get power to that too. Okay. Now. While we're building here, so like I said, the top of this is now going to be the other hydrogen generator. So I think that what we want to do is deconstruct potentially that. And this wall, I'm not sure that we need any of this anymore. Because I'm just going to bring it into sort of here. when I do that deconstruct there, let's make sure we're just doing buildings. I think that's only captured buildings. I don't think there's anything in the inside of that section. So let's just knock that out too. And we can deconstruct those guys as well. Oh, you are looking pretty old there, buddy. Is this your final goodbye? We don't need him operating too much anymore either. The other thing I keep forgetting to look at is carbon skimmers. Even if it's just I should have a read of them. Uses water to filter carbon dioxide from the air. I mean, that doesn't seem too bad. And I think that the science has been done by by people in the comments to say that these guys aren't gonna cut it. So it creates polluted water. So it requires water, carbon dioxide. Creates polluted water. And heat. I don't know what a DTU is. By the way, speaking of DTUs, thank you to those that did tell me what 6 Kelvin is, which is apparently around minus 267 degrees. So the question of how do we do that is certainly certainly now on my mind, and probably my next question there. What's the approach? How are we going to get a room as cold as minus 200 something Kelvin if solid ice is sitting at around minus 40? To actively get a room as cold as that, what do we need to be doing? Since I know that none of the freezing biomes are freezing like that, I can certainly assume that it's not something that I can just sort of set up in that way. Okay, so this pump here, I want to change to just be this pump's stuff. So he is going to... Firstly, I want to deconstruct the electricity, power wires, and the sort of gas that is going over to this guy. I want to reroute it. So let's just turn on our power vision, and we will say deconstruct, I guess just those two there. And then we want to go over to, what's that, ventilation, and deconstruct, get rid of that. Now, I suppose a little bit concerned about what happens if I just empty that, if that will sort of just cause this guy to use it, so let's not get rid of that just yet. Okay, setup of this. So this second room didn't need to happen, so I need basically an area where I can put 2 transformers, which actually might be the top top room. 2 transformers, only has to be about 2 high, then a wall, then a battery, then a wall, then a hydrogen generator. So let's put this hydrogen generator. Now the other thing though that I do need is I need this gas pump to work up and then have a split. So if we go ventilation, let's slow this down to 1 too, by the way. Let's not go nuts here. So then we want gas filter. It's R, I want O. Which way's the right way there? It's better, okay. Output pipe, input pipe, right, so we go like that. We will then put this guy made of gold here. Wait for him to be built. We can then put there's no airlock on that at all at the moment. It doesn't matter. There's no oxygen, I suppose, pumping, like hydrogen pumping around. It just sort of is in the room. So then we'll build our similar, just sort of two space setup, and we'll deconstruct. We'll wait for him to use it. Deconstruct those, and then we'll build like that. Now the other end of this guy, what we'll do is we will ventilate. So he is pumping, he is going to pump hydrogen into here, and then he is going to pump oxygen into there. So that recovers oxygen back to the point that we've just recently disconnected. Sorry guys, working in this no oxygen area again that we've recently dug up and then have rebuilt and dug up again. Alright, so we'll copy the battery, we'll chuck him there, and we'll copy the power transformers. He's going to be precariously in the shadow of that cable there. That's alright, we can give it to him. And so the automation wire, integrated signal when battery is less than 0% charged. Less than 0%. It is. Yeah, I know, Stinky. Go get some air, buddy. Okay, this guy here. We will ventilate, we will run his gas pipe out this way. Here, then put his gas filter in this bit. That is output, that is input. Yep. So then this guy can just go like that. What happens if I delete this? Will that air just sort of be, that hydrogen just be released into space? Like into the colony? And here's oxygen. Because this guy here's got a bit of a hard task now, doesn't he? If he's pumping oxygen to things and he's almost lower than the oxygen line at the base. Deconstruct these gas pipes. Okay, so back to this ventilation. Now swing that out here. Now all that's coming from here. So what's that guy's duty? Oh, well, he's the carbon dioxide dude. Okay. Which he isn't needed anyway because this is... Oh, I mean, for now that's doing the work, although we're about to probably shut down those generators. So where are we taking this to? I reckon maybe here. Here. So what's going to be the easy way to get there? We go... up, and then across. I'm not going to be able to make like a gas... Can I make a gas bridge on top of a... through like a... Or is that going to delete that square there? Because that square's pretty inconsequential anyway. Take, yep. I reckon probably about here is fine. So now what we need to do is make sure that this is designated as output 2 is hydrogen. Output 2 is hydrogen. And we need power. Okay. Then what we need is our heavy watt wires to run from him. And we want them into the top. And then we take them out into the rest of the world. So what we need to do is get over to the third section of our electricity grid, which is this side. So this one here is connected via there. The other one is connected via sort of here. So, I mean, one of the two of these can then just operate. Like, they can just share the workload of one of the other ones, I guess. So if I just connect him there, he can also help out with that. And then this guy here, we need to get over to here. Or up to here. It's going to be our easiest route. Let's go... Possibly I could have made it... This guy here needs to just sort of flick through that wall and then get over here, but I mean, it's well outside the base as its connection. I mean, it's doable. And he's just connected to what I've already connected this guy to, so... Yeah, let's do that. Let's deconstruct this. And then have him... come through the wall there. There we go. So now he's connected on that. That's the right grid? No, that's the wrong grid. Now I really need to make sure I don't cancel any of the build stuff down here. Okay, let's up the priority of this thing getting built. And then the remaining question is, what do I connect this guy to? So I think that to sort of divide that this guy's doing something different to the other one on that this grid. Run him just onto that one. So there's one of both on that one, just for so they're on something different to each other. And hopefully soon we can start to see these pipes stop being blocked. Yeah, there is hydrogen in that room, and that's that hydrogen that I think I released when I removed that pipe. So there we go. Alright, we gotta click plant. Empty. That's certainly filling quite nicely. And these two poor little guys are a little bit overcrowded down there. They're glum about it. Well, we could probably tell that to... we can disable him for now. We probably don't need any more going in there. But we'll leave him there in case we ever do need more water, at which point what we can do is just cut that way. No power. That's alright. It's at least good to see one of these pumping. And maybe what I should do in these two setups, just to sort of try and ensure this guy keeps running, is put a second battery. Like if we just go... I put a battery there and then have a similar thing of the cable run into him and then run up to this same connection part. Or I suppose I can separate the batteries out so that they both operate a separate single one. Just so that there's more work to be done. I mean, for this guy, I'd have to just shift him one more to the right, maybe. Let's try this out. We deconstruct him for a second. Deconstruct that. Deconstruct that. And just put sort of a ladder square in those two spots. Now the fact that this doesn't have an automation cable doesn't matter, I assume. It just means that this will keep pumping even though the battery's full. So then what we'll do is we'll copy that and put him there. Then deconstruct that. And we will say power, heavy cable, across to here, then up. Deconstruct that. Power, heavy cable, there. So now they've got there's two batteries to continue to pump to. This guy's pipe's still blocked. So let's try and just trace his pipe to see what's happening. Right, that one there. So let's quickly build a ladder there. Be right, I don't need that one. Okay, now if we want to do the same thing for this side for this one, all we would have to do is go copy to there. I guess we got to deconstruct that and then just sort of reorder it as just straight into this guy. And then what we would do is we would go heavy wire. Sorry. Cancel that. Oh, cancel that one. Rebuild it. Correct that mistake. Go power, wire, down, down. And then once that's gone, we can just rebuild it so it just hooks into this guy. So that he's not gone for too long. Let's just quickly correct that. And we will go deconstruct automation there. It's really funny that the hardest place to breathe is in the area where we're making oxygen. Now I assume that in this sort of period we've made enough plastic. I suppose another question is going to have to be, what am I doing wrong with my little hatchlings? They are... Let's see a couple of guys wandering around down here somewhere. I believe all my hatchlings have died, but there are still heaps walking around. What should I be doing with them to stop them from all dying on me? Now see the two of these are just pumping and he's continuing to, I guess, get a little bit better. If we change over to the gas pipes, that does seem like we're starting to move a bit better. This guy's stopping from time to time. This guy's just going alpha leather. Good job, guys. Are we happy with it? You opted to go in here to get a breath. That's a good idea. And I think the fact that automation isn't on these doesn't really matter. It just means that they won't. It just won't stop if the battery's fully charged, which is basically what we're trying to do. Alright, so I'd say next time what we need to address is starts with year 2 skill, increased germ resistance, immune to food poisoning, requires light to sleep. So all we'd have to do is have him have his own bedroom, which is what everyone else has anyway. We want him? I think we do. Let's bring him in. Get him a suit. Okay, so I think all the bedrooms are currently occupied. What was my plan here? I need one, I guess 2 more rooms now for beds. I need to work out where we can expand to. Possibly I can just sneak a bedroom in here. What sort of room size that I decided I needed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's excluding walls. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something sitting there? Let's stick. Let's uproot that. And let's build a room. So that's dig and dig, they're not can't. That's just going to be a door. We also need to uproot that. Because we need to build a ladder. Or is this going to be down in questionable oxygen area? But it's breathable for the time being. Only just. This guy must just not be picking up a lot of hydrogen. Or it's more, it's his that's overpressuring. Why is that overpressuring? I would have thought that, like, since there's just sort of airflow tiles around it, that it would just sort of continue to push up through the rest of the colony. Should I move this? And if so, where should I move it to? Alright, well that'll be, I guess, our question for next time. Yeah, we will have this bedroom hopefully ready to go with a, maybe I should just try and put a... Oh! We just, as before we go... There'll be power, won't it? No. It's alright, I'll find the light switch next time. And just before we go, we hit another achievement there. I guess on theme with what we were just doing there. Distribute 1,000 kilograms of oxygen using gas vents. Nice one. We really should try and go for this get a room one too. I reckon that's pretty achievable. But we'll look at that another day. Thanks for watching. Any questions or feedback or comments, feel free to let me know. I guess the big thing we need to address is how do I stop these guys from overpressuring, or where should I relocate them to stop them from overpressuring? I do really want to put that light in so that I don't forget. I reckon that's the sort of thing I will forget. I'm going to put that in place to remind me that we're doing that on purpose. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.